All right, greetings everybody. This is officially your review for the Chapter 8 test, which is on Wednesday. Vocabulary, it would behoove you to know the following vocabulary terms. There's only 3 of them, but I mean, the other vocabulary terms are actually in the questions of the study guide. This one's a little lengthier than what you normally have as far as the questions go. All right, so let's get right to it. So mercenary, know what a mercenary is. Mercenary is a soldier paid to fight for a foreign army. Should be in your notes, should be in your book. An alliance is an agreement by 2 or more nations to act together in a cause. An alliance. A privateer is a privately owned ship authorized to attack enemy ships. Privateers were used in the Revolution, and partly because we didn't have a navy. Okay, so the first question you see at the top there, what did the colonists request in the Olive Branch Petition? Well, don't ask King George because he didn't read it. So they asked King George in it that he never read. They asked him for protection from unfair practices of Parliament. So is that their declaration of war? No. They simply were asking him to protect them from unfair practices like taxes that they didn't believe in or have a say in whether they were taxed or not. No taxation without representation, remember. What did Richard Henry Lee resolve to Congress in 1776? That Americans should be free and independent. That was his opinion. What was the name of the pamphlet that encouraged Americans to break away from the British? This was written by Thomas Paine, and it was called Common Sense. Okay, so Thomas Paine and Richard Henry Lee would get along pretty well. They probably did. All right, so what was the result of the Declaration of Independence? It broke all ties to Britain, in the Americans' minds anyway. Okay, so all ties to Britain were broken after the Declaration of Independence. However, Great Britain didn't see it that way, right? So another thing, the next one is know that when the revolution began, the Patriots had no navy. So just know that we did not have a navy. How did the intervention of the French, German, and Polish soldiers help the Americans? Oh, well, it helped them. They had an established military, and it helped us to have them train our American fighting forces. So they lent aid in that way. And then what document officially recognized the United States as independent? Notice the words officially are bolded, or not bolded, but capitalized. So that means this is an important one. Many of you, if you asked an American, when did you start becoming independent? They'd say July 4th, 1776. If you ask the world, and including Great Britain, when officially did you start as a nation? It would be 1783, because the Treaty of Paris, 1783, officially recognized the United States as independent. Got it? All right. Next one. What qualities did General George Washington display as leader of the American forces? He was resourceful, patient, brave. Those are some of the words used to describe him in our textbook. And also that last one on the first page, be able to list the many accomplishments of women during the American Revolution. Okay. We've talked about Deborah Sampson. We talked about Mary Ludwig Hayes, Molly Pitcher. They performed many useful tasks like bullet making, for example. They gave soldiers pitchers of water, or Molly Pitcher did, Mary Ludwig Hayes did. And we even had a report in our book, in our chapter, of a lady dressing up as a man so she could fight. Another lady, her husband went down, and so she manned the cannon, or womaned the cannon, however you want to call it. All right. Second page, what significant event happened soon after the Battle of Saratoga, which helped the Americans? After the Battle of Saratoga, the French went, maybe these guys can beat our enemy, Great Britain, and so we should help them. And so the French entered the revolution on the Patriots' side after the Battle of Saratoga. That's the big significance there. And then also it says what happened, the next one, what happened at Valley Forge. That was important in history. The Army survived a freezing and discouraging winter. All right. But while that winter was happening, they were training. And they got better. It says, know the name of the final battle of the Revolutionary War. That final battle was the Battle of Yorktown. That's when Cornwallis was surrounded and had to surrender his sword. All right, page 162, you might want to check out. That is on reading a flow chart. There's going to be some extra credit questions on the test related to that. So the more you know, the better prepared and equipped you are going to get to have that one extra credit point be yours. All right, we're also, it says, be able to explain the many different contributions of women and African Americans in the American Revolution, and also be able to list, what they did. I mentioned a bunch of female contributions, women contributions, doctors, nurses, cooks, guides. Some became soldiers, and African American patriots fought in every major battle of the Revolutionary War. They fought at Lexington and Concord. African American patriots joined the Green Mountain Boys, remember, that helped take Fort Ticonderoga from the British. So those are just some of those. The next question, which is not on the screen yet, but there it is. That's the second. It's going to be the other essay question. It says, be able to explain how the Europeans helped Americans during the Revolution. The French government helped Americans build the Navy. They sent troops. They sent us money. They sent us supplies. They were our friends. And before the French government officially got involved, Marquis de Lafayette volunteered his service as a military leader and advisor to the Americans. Other military leaders from Europe included Baron Friedrich von Steuben from Prussia. He was very instrumental in Valley Forge and whipping our guys into shape during that harsh winter. Baron Johann de Kalb from Germany was also inspirational or influential, helped us, and inspirational probably. Casimir Pulaski and Thaddeus Kosciuszko were from Poland, and they came to offer military advice. There's a Pulaski High School in Milwaukee, and there's also a statue to Thaddeus Kosciuszko here. Now, why would that be? Why in Milwaukee? Well, Milwaukee had a very large Polish population at one point, and these two were regarded as not only those from Poland to remember, but also those that helped the American cause here, to help us become an independent nation. So that's why you see a little bit of a shout out to those two here in the area. Okay, I went a little quick. So this is a video, so you are able to pause it and write things down. I would encourage you to do that, because obviously you can't raise your hand right now and say, could you repeat that? Because I am a video. That's how that works. Okay, but I would really encourage you to, I did talk fast, so pause, write down what you need to, just to make sure you got your study guide filled out correctly. All right, okay, make sure you study hard for this one. This is Mr. Henning signing off.